Good morning, everybody. Happy 420 Day. We are so very excited to kick off our first educational event of the day with a great live stream with some awesome, smart people in the room today. So welcome to Cannabis Patient Care Connection 420 style. For those of you tuning in today, please know if you are catching the replay, feel free to leave us a comment, and we will absolutely make sure that we answer any questions that come up along the way. And if you are catching us live, please do drop in questions and comments. We would love to hear you. My name is April. I'm the Director of Marketing here at MedWell Health and Wellness. I'm going to introduce my friend Emily Waxman, our Director of Community Outreach. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy 420.
Yay! Happy 420. Now we're going to go around and introduce you quickly to our panelists before we get started. We have Nicole Snow, who is with Mass Patient Advocacy Alliance. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, everyone. Happy 420. Great to meet you.
It's great to have you. And we have our friend Frank Shaw. He is the Registered Qualifying Patient Advisor on the Mass Cannabis Advisory Board. Welcome, Frank.
Good morning. Happy 420.
Yes, great to see you. And last but certainly not least, our very own Ryan Reed, our team leader and Boston manager at MedWell Health and Wellness. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. Happy 420.
Awesome. Well, it is so great to see everybody. I want to get started. So friends that are tuning in today or catching the replay, one of the biggest things here at MedWell Health and Wellness that's really, really important and one of our core values is educating our patients about how medicinal cannabis can help in their wellness treatment. And today, by kicking off our patient advocacy panel, we thought it would be really helpful for us to share what's going on in the medical cannabis industry, some of the legislation, the advocacy, and things behind the scenes that you probably don't even always know about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with introductions of our advisory panel here, and we're going to start with Nicole. Nicole, why don't you tell everybody what all the good you're doing in the community? And you have really done some amazing things in making a difference here for our medical cannabis community. So I'm going to let you start off our panel and tell us all about the great things you're doing.
Well, just to go along with the conversation, I actually started at the Mass Patient Advocacy Alliance in 2012 as a volunteer. But when the medical cannabis law passed in 2012, I was still just a volunteer taking calls from patients. So in 2014, Matthew Allen, who was the then president but founder of the organization, called me and asked me to be the executive director. And since then, it's sort of climbed from an organic volunteer experience to what we're doing now at the organization. We got a bunch of volunteers together, made sure we were scheduling events and doing patient demonstrations, but also guiding the patient in their personal experience, whether it was growing at home or registering with the state. We followed them through to seeking what they needed in their medical care experience.
Awesome. And I know you, we've been fortunate to have you as a guest previously, which we appreciate you coming back. Tell a little bit about kind of some of the programs that you do at the Mass Patient Advocacy Alliance, because I think that there's people don't have enough awareness about all. I mean, you do big things, not just little things. Every day you're making change.
So thankfully, to companies like MedWell, we were given financial aid vouchers, and we were able to disperse those among patients and communities that were in need of financial aid. And through that program, we learned a lot about the patients that were not able to access medical cannabis because of the financial barrier, which a lot of people had said before was the $50 fee at the state. We were able to remove that, but the out-of-pocket cost to see a cannabis specialist can be upwards of $200, and that is because the clinician visit is not covered under insurance. I'm happy to announce to everybody that we actually have legislation on Beacon Hill that will cover a legalized coverage of medical insurance for patients' clinical visits and potentially medical cannabis itself.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So,
Unbelievable.
thank you. We're very excited about it. If you want to continue following that movement, please sign up at compassionforpatients.com. We'll be making announcements there, but I didn't want to hold back any longer. This is such a relevant event to discuss this. So please follow us. We have legislation that could just completely turn this all around and cover the cannabis patient through their clinical visits or their medicine.
That's amazing. Wow. Happy 420 day, friends. That's exciting. All right. My friend Frank, why don't you share, you have been a game changer in the industry as well. And I would love for you to share your story and kind of how you got into the cannabis industry, but you have Frank's initiatives and now you have your qpatient.org, which is very cool. So I'm going to let you take it away.
All right, my name is Frank Shaw, and I'm a retired medical cannabis patient living in Ipswich. Back in 2013, I co-founded the Cannabis Society of Massachusetts, a nonprofit that held events and parties that brought the cannabis community together as the marijuana industry was just beginning. I have been a volunteer with the Massachusetts Patient Advocacy Alliance for a number of years as a medical patient. In October of 2019, I successfully sued Governor Baker over his statewide vape ban and left medical marijuana patients that were irreparably harmed without access to cannabis and vape products. Throughout 2020, I developed the Frank Friends Initiative, which is a program that provides low-income HIV/AIDS patients 50% off the cost of products and services at medical marijuana dispensaries and participating healthcare providers. Most recently, in March of 2021, I was appointed to the Massachusetts Cannabis Advisory Board as a registered qualified patient advisor. My role on the advisory board is to register voices of over 100,000 patients certified in the Massachusetts Medical Marijuana Program and provide feedback and regulatory suggestions to the Cannabis Control Commission that aims to benefit patients.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When do you sleep? That's a lot of stuff going on there. Wow. Well, thank you so much for all that you're doing to make a difference in the community. That's an amazing. And I know our awesome friend Kayla here at MedWell has jumped into the chat to help support us today. So thank you, Kayla. And she just dropped Frank's link to qpatient.org. I highly recommend that you check it out. I actually was looking at it yesterday, and it's a great way to have a conversation and to get all of your questions answered. So I encourage you to do so. All right, my friend Ryan. Ryan is with MedWell, making a difference in the lives of our patients every day. So we're very lucky to have him as part of our team. Ryan, why don't you tell a little bit about what you do at MedWell and really how you got into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, so right now I am a manager at MedWell. I manage the Boston locations. I'm big on patient advocacy. I've been in the industry now for about 5 years. I've been with MedWell for 4 years now. I started off in the dispensary setting at Ermont Inc. When they first started. I was part of their founding team in 2016. And then 2017, and I think around September, I joined MedWell. Besides that, I've done a little bit of blogging as the Marshall Cannabist, which ties two of my passions together, martial arts and cannabis, to
Oh,
try
you're gonna have
to.
to elaborate on that.
So I've been training martial arts, various forms from karate, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing since I was like 6 years old. And once I got into the cannabis industry, I wanted to kind of teach people who are in the martial arts, space, that cannabis can be used as a tool for helping them recover, preventative tools for CTE and brain damage and trauma, and things like that. So the blogs are really more based of combining the two passions of cannabis and martial arts.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into it, friends. Let's get into the conversation. So I want to hear, you all have very extensive background in the cannabis field. And I want to hear from your thoughts of kind of where the medical cannabis and kind of the working with patients has evolved. So from where we've started to where we've become, what do you see in the industry? Can you share your thoughts on that? And I'm going to start with you, Ryan. We're going to go back the other way.
It's been wild. I mean, I got in pretty early, not quite as early as say Nicole, but from the jump, like seeing really in Massachusetts, for instance, how slow the program kind of started to get rolled out to now where we're at such a rapidly growing rate of how many like medical and recreational dispensaries are opening, different business opportunities, advocacy groups, nonprofits. There's so much that's happening in this space that's kind of been almost expedited exponentially. And back in the early days, it was like when I first joined Ermont, we were one of 10 dispensaries in the state, and now there's dozens, if not like 100 or so now. There's just like they're always just opening up, and it's wild, the growth that's happening in our state and many other states. I mean, we've got more than half of the United States that's been able to legalize cannabis to some degree, and we're now moving towards a federal level. So it's been a lot. It's been a long journey.
What do you see as the biggest change that you've seen kind of because you've been, so you were with Ermont and being with MedWell and working with patients in the past 4 years, kind of what have you seen in the evolution?
As far as the evolution, I think the biggest thing is access. Like I said, with everything opening up, I think, the access to being able to get cannabis products and being able to, speak about it openly and to be able to get help and consultation and stuff like that. That's really the biggest evolution for me, and then products and stuff have evolved so much over time as well. Now we're, with the science of terpenes and different aspects of cannabis outside of just THC or CBD, now we're able to tailor the experience of cannabis to people and for their needs and be more scientific with the approach of it.
Awesome. What are your thoughts, Frank? Kind of the evolution of medicinal cannabis and the patient, because you've done a lot of different advocacy pieces and elements, and kind of what has your experience been?
Well, patients should understand that they do not have to settle for high prices and limitations at the recreation dispensary. In Massachusetts, we are fortunate to have such a strong medical marijuana program in leadership that continues to recognize that medical marijuana patients are sick and suffering with debilitating medical conditions, even after adult use legalization. As a medicine, medical marijuana is not taxed. Patients can receive discounts that also help to offset the cost of this medicine, while adult use marijuana is heavily taxed and cannot be discounted. It becomes more affordable to get your card in the past few years and a lot easier to register with the commission. Massachusetts recognized that medical marijuana as an essential service, while non-essential businesses, including recreational dispensaries, were closed between March and May of 2020. I think that education is key to helping patients understand the many benefits of becoming a card-carrying medical marijuana patient.
Frank, I want to ask you, because you have this initiative where you're working to help HIV and AIDS patients get some discounts. I'm just curious, because it's a very niche demographic, like where did you see the need? How did your experience kind of portray into this initiative? Because I think it's important for people to know that everybody's doing their part to make a difference, and I want to talk a little bit towards that and kind of how that patient evolution happened.
Well, personally, I've had AIDS for over 20 years, and I saw that there was a need for other patients that are in the same situation that I'm in, that for getting discounted medicine. And I worked on the Frank Friends Initiative over a year before I launched it in 2019.
Well, thank you. And that's a great story, because tonight we're having another panel with women, and one of the women on the panel, her kind of initiative has been working with, she has a daughter that has special needs, right? And severe special needs. And that's really, so I'm always curious to ask how you kind of led down your path and where that came into play. So thank you for sharing that. All right, Nicole, how about you? What's your thoughts on kind of the evolution of medical cannabis in the patient?
Our state is wonderful for the medical cannabis patient. I have seen a lot of fear among the patient community when it came to finally opening adult use, and big question marks about where our medical program would go. And, Frank was right on when he said our leaders were taking special care and attention towards the medical cannabis patient. The legislators and the Cannabis Control Commission really put a lot of focus into making sure that our program was not only safe, but would grow and expand, so that, our state would see something that no other state was doing. And, one of those things that doesn't get talked about a lot is the patient protections. When they're enrolled in the medical program, their information is safe and their individual safety is put on a very high pedestal. And, I want to thank you for the opportunity for talking about this, because in our state, our program is protected under Health and Human Services, which I'm not sure if any other state has done this, but we've seen in other states where third parties have, sort of assembled and put together the patient registry. Our state decided to put it under the Department of Public Health, which is under Health and Human Services. So way back in 2016, when the last administration was put into office, in their first 100 days, they called our state and requested information pertaining to our registry, and our state said absolutely not. It was protected under Health and Human Services. So since that time, and even thereafter, patients only seem to learn about their protections in the court system or when they're in front of a judge. So education is absolutely paramount, that we educate the general public that their privacy and individual safety is being held to a higher standard in this state when it comes to enrolling in the medical program. But, from there on, we've been able to see things like, patients be able to stay in their home, patients keep their job, patients not go to jail or be harmed in any of those ways in court. But also, Frank was able to go to court and speak for patients when it came to the vaporizers. So because of that relationship with a patient and physician, and our program being under Health and Human Services, our program and its patients are protected in a very, Fort Knox kind of way. It's just, incredible how we're doing here.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Nicole, because I'm sure that Ryan can attest to this too, that anytime I'm doing outreach or anytime patients are calling in, they get very nervous that their name is going to be put out there, and that, they're going to end up on some list, and their employer is going to know, or, people are going to find out, and they get very, very nervous. And so I'm so happy that you touched upon that. It's so important to know that, that this is not public information. At MedWell, we follow strict HIPAA compliance, right down to our telemedicine platform is completely HIPAA compliant. So it's really wonderful that you mentioned that, and it's great that we can reiterate that to everyone watching today, and whoever watches down the road, that they do hear that about the program here in Mass.
Yeah, it's amazing, and the commission has taken that very seriously also. So we're so grateful that we're continuing that sort of care for their patients.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about kind of, I think as people are looking to become patients, there's always kind of a little bit of stigma, even though we are leading the force in terms of awareness and education here in Massachusetts. But what do you think is some important things that patients should know about their rights, and things that, questions that come up a lot? So let's start with you, Frank. What do you think is important for people to know about their rights as a medical cannabis patient?
Patients often do not know their medical marijuana use is legally recognized as a valid prescription because of a bona fide healthcare provider-patient relationship. For example, transitional assistants will accept receipts from medical expenses, allowing cannabis products and travel expenses to a medical dispensary can increase your benefit based on your expense and income.
Wow, I've learned that. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
I didn't either.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
How about you, Nicole? What are your thoughts? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Frank. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I tend to talk too much.
No, that's all right. The card has been recognized by the courts and law enforcement, probation, and Department of Children and Families, to name a few.
That's big. That's big, because a lot of our patients that come in here, they worry about that. Well, how is this going to affect my probation? How is this going to affect, child services? How is this going to affect my job? And for it to be recognized in courts and legally is huge, because you can tell that to a patient and give them some peace of mind that, they're not going to be messed with in that regard.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're being proactive on the education part, that people are learning about their protections first, because what happens is they, wind up in a situation where they're in court or, in front of a home inspector, and their attorney will actually contact our organization, and, we're kind of starting from where they got in trouble and working our way back. If we can educate more proactively, that state agencies are actually recognizing medical program cards and the medical program itself, we can do a lot to erode the stigma and protect people, which was what the medical program was set out to do originally.
Sure. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Ryan?
It's just from working in the offices. It's something that we get asked a lot.
Yeah.
Patients do have their concerns about their privacy and their safety, and in our consent forms and everything, we have an entire page dedicated to HIPAA. Like, we have to let that patient know that this is your right through HIPAA, and that we don't share information with anybody. This isn't a database that someone can just type in your name and you pop up as a medical marijuana patient. And it's not public access. You're not on some list somewhere. The only people that see your information are your qualifying doctor, the dispensary, and the Cannabis Control Commission. Outside of that, it's not something that can be accessed. And the HIPAA portion is really big. If they wanted to even give their information to another physician, like their primary care, they have to sign a waiver for that information to be given to another physician. Even if they wanted to obtain their own record from us, they have to sign the same waiver to get that information.
Exactly.
Right.
So there are these safety things that are involved in the process of getting a card that aren't quite involved in the recreational market.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts on what the future holds for medical marijuana patients? What do you see kind of evolving? I know, Nicole, you made a great announcement today. So that's like, you already answered the question, but let's start with you. So what do you think the future holds for medical marijuana patients?
I think we're reducing stigma at a breakneck rate. Really chipping away, and to even have the discussion of potential insurance coverage. When I was having these meetings, I was literally just crying because how far we've come. I remember just sending in, recommendations from physicians with patients to the Department of Public Health to, kind of like a black hole, all the way up to, crafting legislation with legislators that really feel passionate about this alternative therapy being covered and supported, because patients are making, strides in their treatment plans and their overall outcomes. So it's just, the future is really bright and big. Like Ryan said earlier, the numbers of outlets are expanding so quickly. And I'm just so delighted to see such involvement and support for the medical cannabis patient. So it's just, the future is so bright.
Feel it, Nicole, in your smile. You're like, oh, you lit up like a Christmas tree.
It's just amazing. So, please come support us at compassionforpatients.com so that we can stay in touch with you and, make sure that we're doing all these wonderful, great things and carrying on.
Awesome. What are your thoughts, Frank, on the future for medical marijuana patients?
In the future, I think we will continue to see an upward trend in the number of patients' registrations. There is currently 100,000 patients currently certified in the medical marijuana program. Our healthcare system needs to embrace the medical marijuana and work on creating pathways for health insurance to cover the costs associated with this medicine. Nicole was mentioned about the two bills at Beacon Hill. That's why I support H2449 and S1394 on Beacon Hill, as that would create a pathway for health insurance coverage of medical marijuana. Reach out to your legislatures to support these bills if you're support moving towards health insurance coverage in the medical cannabis. I think that in the coming years, the Commission will reduce the barriers of entry and open the medical marijuana dispensaries, which will lead to further expansion of the program. More source, more product, and more competition will drive prices down for patients and bring more product diversity to the industry.
Awesome. How about you, Ryan?
The future of this industry, I think touching back on what I had said earlier, I think with the products, and what Frank had just said, the diversity of products and stuff, it has grown since the program has started. And I think with the more science and stuff that comes out about how cannabis interacts with us and what specific compounds can do for you, I think with that, this medical industry will definitely take leaps and bounds in trying to be more precise with dosaging, precision in what sort of products you're getting, and so that you can have a replicable experience each time you try products. Because back in the earlier days, it was kind of a lot more trial and error. You would have patients that would get their card from us. They'd go to a dispensary with the knowledge of how cannabis generally works, but then still when they got in the dispensary, even with a patient service agent telling them, hey, this product might be good for you, this product,
Right.
it's still a lot of trial and error with that. But with the science and all the advancements in these different products, and a lot of companies looking at terpene profiles and combining different terpenes and other botanicals and things like that, and just nano products and all these sort of things, it's making it so that patients can really optimize what they're getting from their medication.
Sure. And if patients wanted to get involved in their advocacy, what should they do? Where should they go? What can they do? I know Frank was talking about supporting the bill, but is there other websites, or we just go to Compassion for Patients? What's the best way to get involved?
I know Frank has qpatient.org. I know compassionforpatients.com is a really great hub for us to communicate any call to action, or legislative updates, or get-togethers, or demonstrations. So that's where we have patients sort of go to find all these resources about like the Cannabis Control Commission, or any sort of updates like that. I just wanted to piggyback off of what Ryan had said about research. There is an initiative for the commission and scientists to research cannabis and different products and how they affect the outcome of patients' treatment plans. It's just amazing, where we can go from there. But compassionforpatients.com is the Massachusetts Patient Advocacy Alliance Inc.'s website, and you can just input your email address, and periodically, not every day, but periodically, we'll send out email blasts, and there'll be a call to action. Like our most recent call to action on the federal level was calling for the Biden administration's Attorney General to reinstate the Cole Memorandum, which was guidance from the federal government to not interfere with states' programs that were compliant with their state laws and regulations. And that was a really important piece of guidance that we felt, was, retracted very early in the last administration's term. And, we felt like we were, flying without a parachute or a net, and we didn't know where the administration would go to. So, if also you wanted to contact the Biden administration's Attorney General, that's a call to action that we have. So, various things come out of compassionforpatients.com. You don't have to do everything. You can pick, where you want to make a difference.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you for all that you're doing in the medical cannabis industry to make a difference. We appreciate you. We look forward to having you a guest down the road and share all that you're doing, all the great things. I can only imagine what's to come and what you all are doing. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, friends. So I need you to stay tuned. Thank you again, Nicole and Ryan. We will talk soon. I appreciate it. And friends that are still here, stay tuned, because guess what? It's 420 Day, and 420 Day doesn't happen. It's officially kind of Weed Day, right? So we have some special discounts for you and some special announcements that I want to share. So give me 1 second, and I am going to, first we're going to announce that today only, we have a special discount for getting your medical cannabis certification. So my friend Kayla has just dropped in. We are offering $15 off. If you schedule your MMJ appointment today by 8 p.m., you get $15 off. That's new or recertifying patients. So please take advantage. You're going to use code 42021 in celebration of 42021. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of it. If you are on social media, please, absolutely. It is on our page. It's on our Instagram. It's on our Facebook. Share that with your friends and take advantage. Again, that offer is only good until the end of today. Just today. So call our office, schedule an appointment. It is not something, unfortunately, you can do online. So you do need to make the phone call and get your certification on the books. And now, drum roll, Emily. You got the drum roll ready? All right. So we are so excited to announce we have this great contest. We've been working in the works. So calling all my Tom Brady fans. Woohoo, Tom Brady. Today is the official launch of our contest giveaway, where we are giving away 2 tickets to the Tampa Bay Bucks, VIP status, friends. We're offering a flight, 2 nights, food and drink while you're there, and you get to see Tom Brady doing his stuff on the field. Now, I know there's going to be some naysayers out there, but I'm going to be honest with you. Tom Brady is the GOAT, and who wouldn't want to go see him? So, my friend Kayla has dropped in our chat the link for you to register, and I just want to show it's going to bring you to this page. You do need to be 18 years or older. And you're going to go to this page. You're going to hit yes for your 18. You're going to fill out your email address, your information. You're going to just say if you are a MMJ patient of MedWell or not. There's no right or wrong answer, friend. Anybody can enter this contest. So I'm going to hit yes. And I'm going to go to the next page. And now, guess what? There's more. Not only can you enter this contest once, but you can enter it up to like 5 different times. So first of all, there's no purchase necessary. This is not affiliated with Facebook or YouTube in any way, so I do need to say that. Please do check out the guidelines and the rules. If you have questions to that, you do need to be 18 years or older. And now what you can do, though, is if you refer your friends, earn some more points. You can share it on Facebook. You can tweet it out. You can share it on LinkedIn, or you can email them this contest. And every time that you send this and refer to a friend, you get another entry into our contest. How cool is that? Oh, but don't stop there. If you go and follow us on Instagram, you get another entry, friends. If you follow us on Twitter, another entry. If you visit us on Facebook and like our page, you get another entry. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you get another entry. And last but not least, bonus, you certify with MedWell and you automatically get entered into another drawing. So let's count. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 9 chances to go see Tom. Who wouldn't take me up on that offer? So I encourage you, in the link in the chat, absolutely sign up today and take a chance and go see Tom, because I'm hoping, well, I actually can't play to win, but I'm going to get to see Tom, and I support him because he is the GOAT of all time. So, all right, friends, thank you so much for stopping by today and being part of our kickoff event for Cannabis Patient Care Connection 420 style. We had some great panelists to start our day. At 1 o'clock today, my friend Emily and Tori are going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking about how to get your medical cannabis card certification and answering any questions that you have about the process. Oh, and wait. At 7 tonight, we are talking with women in the cannabis industry. It's going to be a great conversation learning about these incredible women making a difference in kind of the lives of others and where they started, where they evolved, and where they see the future of women in cannabis. So join us. Again, the link's in the chat. You guys have an amazing day. Can you tell how excited I am?
Happy 420, everyone. Enjoy.
All right, guys, you have a great day. Thanks again, Kayla. And thanks so much to our panelists. And we will see you at 1 p.m. Same place, different time.